It's a very good afternoon. You're watching ZTN News Blitz. Let's take a look at our top stories. Will government teachers finally agree on salaries? We'll give you more. We won't bury a stranger, murdered boy's family vows. Makashule accused of awarding irregular housing contract. And in sports, Chevron's tested for COVID-19. With schools reopening in limbo after teachers rejected a 40% increment by their employer, government has said it will give negotiations another try. Last week's offer would have resulted in the least paid civil servant taking home almost 4,800 Zimbabwe dollars. But the teachers said no. Public Service, Labour and Social Welfare Minister Professor Paul Mavima told ZTN that a new offer is on the cards.
The idea of coming back to consult with the principals is on the part of the government team is to say, can we vary our original offer a little bit? And those consultations are still going on.
Civil Service Apex Council Secretary David Zadsunga says that they expect an improved offer.
What I can say is we anticipate that government will come back to us to set a meeting up, an NJNC meeting, and we expect that they will come up with a revised and more acceptable offer that sticks to the position that we have given them.
The family of a 7-year-old boy who was gruesomely murdered in Zimbabwe Murewa district is seeking closure. Tapiwa Makore was murdered for suspected ritual purposes. Only his torso was discovered about a week ago, with his limbs and head missing. Our news crew traveled to Murewa and spoke to the boy's grief-stricken family.
Thursday, 17 September 2020, was supposed to be a normal day for the Makore family from Makore village under Chief Mangwende in Murewa, a district located 86 kilometers east of the capital Harare. For Tapiwa Makore, an innocent 7-year-old boy, his trip to the garden was the daily routine. His mother, Linda Munyori, as per routine, packed Tapiwa's lunch for the trip. She was oblivious this was to be her son's last trip to the garden. His life was gruesomely cut short by the masters of the dark world. Tapiwa was to return home in pieces, albeit with the aid of a hungry dog and its 5 puppies. For now, his family is in possession of Tapiwa's torso. His neck and head, both hands and legs are still missing. Investigations so far point to a sharp object having been used to chop off the missing parts. Only heaven knows where the missing limbs are, and in whose possession, nobody knows. For the dogs, stumbling upon Tapiwa's mutilated body in the savanna forests of Murewa was a good hunt. But for Linda Munyori, Tapiwa's mother, and any normal being, it's a different story. What an irony. Such a memory will remain etched in many people's minds forever. Who could have connived with the devil to cut short Tapiwa's young life, and for what are the questions many are asking. Body parts that have been recovered do not match Tapiwa's body. Police suspect more such killings could have been carried out in the area. The family had to pay $200 for tests at a laboratory in Harare in order to confirm if the recovered parts were Tapiwa's. Now, the family is in no hurry to bury a body which is not theirs. We cannot bury a stranger, they have said. To them, they will wait until eternity, even though they're eager to bury one of their own. Tapiwa's aunt is not holding back. She is livid. Even for the country's law enforcement officers from the Central Investigation Department, our tough men and women, this death is a puzzle many cannot fathom. While informing the public last week on Saturday morning, they couldn't say good morning. Indeed, there was nothing good about that infamous morning. That some of the recovered body parts do not match those of Tapiwa compounds the puzzle for the police and the community. Cold-blood murders are going unreported. But for Senior Assistant Commissioner Paul Nyati, Zimbabwe Republic Police's mouthpiece, they are not leaving any room for speculation.
Police are basically continuing with the investigations. We don't want to speculate. Let's wait for investigations to be conducted. I know people are coming up with a lot of theories, but we appeal that they allow the police the space to conduct investigations. For
now, the family is pondering on its next move. Where do they get the $4,000 needed for DNA tests?
Munenge makutomirira government to mapurisa ofila form chichitsvaga mari, but it takes time. Zvekuti hamungazvimirire kuti a month or so, it takes time, or 3 months zvichienda mberi.
As days have passed and weeks are sure to pass, but Tapiwa is not coming back. He won't. It pains. But his family needs closure. They need to move on with their lives.
About 40% of adolescent girls in Zimbabwe are sexually active before they reach the age of 18. This is according to UNICEF. Such data continues to create headaches for government, lawmakers and health practitioners. These sexually active girls need access to contraceptives and other sexual and reproductive health services. But health practitioners say the law forbids them from rendering such services to underage girls, whose health remains at risk. Legislators this morning took government to task over the issue.
The health worker in an effort to help, even if the child is already having another child, can actually be arrested by law, because that is not what the Constitution says. But he anabetsera kuona kuti mwana we are already pregnant.
Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, who is also Minister of Health and Childcare, acknowledged the concerns raised by lawmakers and health practitioners.
Already work in progress to align various sections in the Public Health Act with the reality on the ground and also to the constitution of the country. That I want to assure honorable members that is work which is underway.
Still with health issues, recent studies have shown that men and young adolescent boys in Zimbabwe are reluctant to get tested for HIV. According to UNAIDS data, 1.4 million people are living with HIV in Zimbabwe, with 60% of the figure being women. OFID Director of Programs, Sarah Page Mtongizwa, said they are launching a faith and community initiative which seeks to help disseminate information in society through faith-based organizations while raising more awareness for men and boys in Zimbabwe.
What we've seen in some of our data is that in terms of access to health services, access to HIV testing, access to treatment, men, including young boys, adolescent boys, and older men, are less they're less likely to access services. And when we look at our data and we look at our projections, we're not finding as many men coming into health facilities. So we need to ensure that they have equal access to testing, equal access to treatment, and that they are also accessing viral load monitoring, which is a key component of like long-term care of HIV.
The Zondo Commission has heard that former Free State Premier Ace Magashule allegedly gave instructions to the Department of Human Settlement to give a particular person contracts to build houses. Former Free State Human Settlement boss Mpho Mokoena was testifying at the Commission on Wednesday. The Commission is focusing on a R1 billion Free State housing scheme, which has been described as completely irregular and fraudulent. We move now to sports, where the Chevron squad members have undergone a first COVID-19 test since starting camp last week ahead of their tour to Pakistan next month. Players went for the test in Harare on Wednesday and results are expected in 48 hours. The team is expected to have a final COVID-19 test before leaving for Pakistan for a tour which will feature 3 ODIs and 3 2020s between October 30th and November 10th. Today's UEFA Super Cup between Bayern Munich and Sevilla could be played in front of 20,000 fans in Budapest. The UEFA and Hungarian authorities have pressed ahead with plans to allow fans into the Puskás Arena for the final despite a spike in coronavirus cases. However, many Bayern fans are reportedly not making the trip following a spike in COVID-19 cases. This comes after Germany declared Budapest a high-risk area for COVID-19. And that's all from ZTN News Blitz. Thanks for watching.